My name's Jim. Here are my contact information down in the lower left-hand corner, so feel free to reach out to me. We really want to keep this process open, so if people have questions, you can submit those, and Khan's going to let me know when a question comes in, and we'll try to answer those as we go. You don't need to save your questions till the end, but if you don't want to ask a question in front of a big group, feel free to email me or pick up the phone and give me a call. So look forward to working with you all. So we're going to start off today. Agenda for today, we're going to talk about traditional AI versus manufacturing reality. What's really happening out there in the AI and manufacturing world. We're going to talk about Cyberquery. You'll hear me call it CQ quite a bit. And the AI architecture of Cyberquery. We'll spend most of our time just showing you the software. How does CQ AI work? And then the next steps. And really, the next steps are pretty easy. If you like what you see in this demonstration, just send me an email, send Khan an email, send Sherry an email, any of your ESS contacts, and just say, hey, I'd like to get that free evaluation copy of the AI software for Sightline or CSI. I'd be happy to send it to you. So along those lines, we're going to treat this session today as like a little mini training class. So again, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. We're going to start off slow. We're going to go through a handful of PowerPoint slides and then jump right into the software. So we like to start up with kind of a question. We posed this question on the roadshow about where you stand or where does your company stand on your AI journey. And I actually took this question and submitted it to chat. And chat came back with 5 possible answers. So number 1, no plans for AI, haven't even bought the car. Number 2, working on it, car's still in the driveway. Number 3, moving forward, still in the neighborhood. Number 4, gaining traction, we're on the highway. And number 5, approaching our final destination. And in the roadshow and in webinars that we've done since, we've kind of polled people to find out where they stand or sit in this journey. And those that might be worried, I can tell you that nobody said we're approaching our final destination. Everybody is still new to this AI process. So if you're just starting out, don't feel concerned that you're behind. Most people are in that working on it, car still in the driveway, some moving forward, still in the neighborhood. Very few are on the highway. So again, don't worry that you're not already there. But it does mean that you got to kind of get busy and move forward. And that's hopefully something we can help you with CQ AI. So kind of talking about traditional AI versus manufacturing reality. Number 1, traditional AI has a cloud mandate, meaning that you have to move your data into the cloud where it is visible to the AI engine, and who knows who else can see that data. There's also a translation gap, specifically for Sightline. Generic AIs don't understand Sightline and CSI, the logic, the logistics, the schemas. And so that's a big issue, trying to train the model to understand Sightline and CSI. Then finally, there's a risk factor. If you're dealing with an unpredictable AI, who knows what the answers are going to be coming back out of the system. So we've tried to remove those mandates or the gaps. And what we've done with Cyberquery AI is, number 1, CQ AI speaks Sightline, speaks CSI. It can speak CPQ, Salesforce, SAP, any ERP system. So very, it's got native fluency for any data you might want to bring into the system. As Khan said, instant access. Really, it's a 2 to 4 hour install. Very quick, very easy. And you'll be writing reports or querying data using CQ AI in less than 2 hours. Number 3, zero friction deployment. It eliminates the hundreds of hours typically spent defining your data dictionary to those generic AIs. We've already done that within the Cyberquery AI. Again, makes your life a whole lot easier. We talk about on-premise peace of mind. So with Cyberquery AI, your data stays local. It's never shared with the cloud, so you can rest assured that all your confidential information stays confidential, including all your customer information, supply chain data. Your entire model is under your control. And then data security, not only secured from the web, but secured internally. So only people that should see financial data are going to be able to see it. Only people that should be able to see customer or pricing or sales information should be able to see it. So again, that's all under your control, either by user ID or by Active Directory groups. You can secure the site, table, all the way down to the field value level. So if you need to do security by contract or security by sales group or project or whatever, you can do that within CQ AI. Now here's the architecture. And I want to kind of go through this in a little bit of detail. So, typical organization starting over there on the right, you've got your CSI, Sightline data. You got other ancillary data, whether again it's CPQ or Salesforce or other cloud sources, again like Salesforce or Infor CRM or anything else. So you've got your various data sources. On the left, you've got at least 3 different types of customers you need to deliver that information to. One would be your executives who have all kinds of questions. Number 2 would be just their information users, people that need to see reports on a scheduled basis. They want to see their AR aging reports, their AP aging reports, their trial balances. They want to see shop efficiencies on a periodic, a repeatable basis. And then finally, you've got your IT people who are concerned about security and control and who can access and do what. So you've really got this big gap in the middle, and that's really what Cyberquery AI is designed to bridge. So with CQ AI, that bridges the gap, and specifically, how do we do that? So here's the way it works. So Cyberquery AI is going to run on a Windows server someplace in your environment. That Windows server includes the CQ engine. This is the piece that basically builds the queries, lets you talk directly to your underlying Sightline and CSI data. It also includes what we call the CQ data dictionary for Sightline or CSI or both, or SAS or SAP or whatever the case might be. And again, the nice thing about this model so far is that we just share with the AI engine in the cloud the structure of the environment, the table names, the field names, the column headers, the masks, most importantly, the relationships, how to go from CO item to the item master to the product code master table to wherever you might need to go. That's the information we share. We don't share the underlying data. And then finally, the third part, and maybe the most important part, is over the years, we've built thousands of reports for Sightline and CSI. We've taken the best of those reports, and now we've made them these CQ starting points that we, again, share with the AI environment. So now AI knows how to build a bill of material, an AR aging report, a trial balance. The list goes on and on. There's probably somewhere between 75 and 100 of these CQ starting points for Sightline and CSI that you can use as is or modify for your own particular needs, or just use as a training model for AI. You can also add your own queries to this starting point library. So if you got something that's unique to the way you do business and you want to have people be able to reuse that stuff, add it to that CQ starting point library. And I'll show you what that all means as we start getting into the product. But the whole idea with CQ AI is we want to AI but verify. We want to make sure you're getting back good information. So we want to keep the good that's standard in AI, the ease of use, the speed, the availability, but then we want to add to it with CQ AI plus security, both external and maybe more importantly, internal. Again, only certain users should be able to see finance or purchasing or whatever the information might be. Power. Again, any query you might need to build or use, you can build in CQ AI. Accuracy. Goes without saying that everything has to be 100% accurate. Number 4, repeatability. So if you build a query and now you want to reuse that. You may want to schedule it. You may want to publish it out to where other people can see and reuse it. You can do that with CQ AI. And finally, you want something cost effective. Cyberquery is very cost effective. Do not need to mortgage the farm to get into the software. You can license the software either perpetually, annually, or month to month. And because so many customers have been burned by other tools in the Sightline and CSI environment, almost everybody starts month to month. So a typical license for, I'm going to say, 5 CQ developers and 20 runtime users, you're talking about $1,600 a month. So you're not talking a lot. And depending on the size of your organization, we've got bigger, we've got smaller licenses. But again, you don't have to mortgage the farm to start using Cyberquery. As a matter of fact, we provide the software free for 30 days, let you play with it, make sure it's going to be a good fit for you. Okay, how does it work? Now we're going to go through some more PowerPoint slides just to show you how everything works. I kind of get excited when I show the software, so I've got these PowerPoints to make sure I don't miss anything. So when you jump into Cyberquery, and by the way, all you need to use Cyberquery is a browser. So if you've got Internet Explorer, Internet Edge, Firefox, Chrome, even Safari. So if you've got executives walking around with, iPhones or, tablets or whatever, they can use CQ AI. You're going to in the chat bot. We now call it the AI assistant. And you get in, you're going to see a screen like this. So again, here's the assistant. And from the assistant, I can go out here and I can look at past conversations. So I can see what I've built over the last month or two. I can come in here and I can just ask the system general information, about the database, so using the tool or the language or the dictionary. In my situation, I'm going to come right in here and say, hey, show me an AR agent report as of January 1, 2018. Now, I should warn you, I'm dealing with the Sightline bicycle database. So it's old, it's dated. So that's why I had to use 2018 in that example. But I go ahead and click run. The system comes back and says, you know what? I found some starting points. Do you want to use the starting points to address your question? Or do you want to build something from scratch? I want to create a new query. In my case, I'm going to say, let's use a starting point. It goes out there and shows me the list of starting points, kind of shows me a snapshot of what these look like. I'm going to say, hey, I like this one on the left. I'm going to say, use that starting point. And I click run. And so just that quickly now, I've got a report showing AR aging as of January 1, 2018. So I can say, great, I'm done. Or I can go back and I can start modifying that starting point to bring in new fields, to remove fields. Again, whatever I might want to do. Now, as you work in the AI, and I've started a new query, this is saying, show me total extended value of customer orders by item. Again, I can say, use a starting point, or in this case, I'm going to say, I want to start a brand new query. And if I come down here, you'll see under the summary tab, it gives me a little explanation of what's going on in the report. So it says, this query calculates the total extended value for each item within customer orders. And you can see the rest of it right there in front of you. I can go ahead and I can say run, or I can come down here and I can just say, look at the query. So the query, as opposed to the summary, shows me exactly what's going on behind the scenes. So it shows me a little bit more detail. Technical people love the query side of it. The end users will probably stay more on the summary tab. But again, you can look and see what's going on directly in the system. Here's the little query that's being built. I come down here and I can read all the explanation about which tables it's using. So in this case, it's using CO items. The starting point is picking up price and quantity ordered. It goes out to cust adder to get the name and the item and all that stuff. So again, I can see what's going on before I actually run the query. I click run. Here's the query over on the right-hand side of the screen now. And what I can do, one of the things I really like about it, is I can also come in here and I can click on the assistant, and you're looking at the assistant right now, and if I click on options, it's going to hide the assistant, and now I can just click and drag and do whatever I want with this query that exists on my screen right here in the browser. So for example, I want to bring in description. I type in DESC in that description window or that search window. It shows me all the tables that have a field that's got the, the DESC in there. I say, I want to grab that description from the item master. I drag it over, drop it in my report. So I can jump back and forth between the AI assistant, and I can also click and drag, and I can do anything I want within the Cyberquery environment. So that's why we say, CQ AI plus. It's more than just AI. Okay, I'm going to jump back to the assistant now. So here's that query using the assistant. One of my favorite features with the assistant is down here, this little plus and minus sign. What that does is it says, hey, show me what's been added or removed. If there's anything removed, you see that in red from the query. So what I've done is I've said up above, you can see it, I said just show top 10 customers by extended value and collapse on my customer name. So you can see the green, what's been added in that little query window. When I'm happy, I click run. Here's this report now, and it's showing how I can expand and collapse any of this data just by clicking those arrows. So if I click that arrow in front of Precision Bicycles, it's going to collapse, or I can expand, Carnival Cycles, any of the other customers that I want just by clicking those arrows. Okay, if I come in here, I'm going to now say to the system, remove item and description and display report as a pie chart. Again, if I click on that plus and minus sign, again, the pink or the red, that's being removed. The green's being added. I come down here, and now I don't have to go back to the database to refresh the report. Cyberquery holds these records in memory, so I can go back to them immediately. So I can click refresh, or I can click over here where I can say, copy this query, because maybe I want to send it to a friend or a colleague. Maybe I want to tell the system good job. So if I click on that green smiley face, I can say great job AI, this is what I expected. Or you can click that red frowning face and say, nah, this isn't quite what I expected, should have done this or should have done that. The next button over there is the refresh, refresh the report again, and let's look at it. I can also, with that last one, look at the encyclopedia, look what is going on within the system itself. So within Cyberquery AI, I can obviously build new conversations, share a conversation, but another one of the things I really like is this advice for the assistant. So if when I run the system, I don't like the way it displays the number. Maybe it's got too many digits. So I can say, hey, always show my numbers with 2 decimal places. Or I can say, use this table for that type of report, or look here. I can give advice to the assistant, and that advice is going to be taken into consideration when I do my next query. So again, a real powerful environment. Okay, here's the result of that query, showing me that that report now as a chart. I can build links and drill downs on any of this stuff. But I'll tell you what, let's just go right in to the software and build that. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to maximize my browser, and I'm going to start a new query. So, okay, so this is what you're going to see. And again, I can come in here through the assistant, and I just type here. Or if I'm not so good at typing, I can just speak directly into the system. So for example, I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to click on my little microphone, and I'm going to say, where would I find customer name? And you can see the system just took my verbal input. It goes out there, the AI is working, and it comes back and tells me that customer name is found in the customer address file, cust_adder. And cust_adder also has cust number, cust sequence, and it even comes down here and can tell me that for customer sequence, where 0 typically indicates bill to address, other numbers indicate ship to location. So again, the AI can help people learn a lot about Sightline and CSI just speaking to it. So we can do that. Let's start a new conversation. And I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to use my microphone again, and I'll say, show me a bill of material. Okay, system goes out there and runs, comes back and says, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to use a starting point, or do you want to build a bill of material from scratch? So in my case, I'm going to say, hey, let's browse the starting point. Let's see what we got out there. So here's one, here's one. I can scroll down so you can see there's several of these starting points. I kind of like this one right here. I'm going to say use that starting point, and the system's going to go out there and run this query now for us. Brings it back into the system, and I can kind of see what's going on. You can see that in this case, this particular starting point has a selection where I can select LA or Dallas and LA, London. I'm just going to go with LA. It prompts me for a top level item. I'll go with that one, and I'll just click run. So this report, this starting point, has got some logic already built into it that's great. So again, I see my level. I notice item, and I notice that in this particular report, it has links. These blue underscores are links. So if I wanted to know, for example, where used on that wheel assembly mountain, I just do a click, and it shows me now, where that wheel assembly mountain is used. Which other items, descriptions, top level items, all that stuff. So again, these starting points are nice because I don't have to reinvent the wheel. And I can take any of the reports and I can add to them. So for example, let's say I like this bill of material, but what I want to do, and I'm going to refresh it again just in the graphical environment, I'm going to say, you know what I want to do? I'm going to tell the system to add item product code and item family code after item description. For item description, see how test out my typing skills here. So it goes out there, and the AI is going to figure out how to add that information. Now notice, that information, stuff coming from the item master may not be, part of the table structures we're dealing with. It may be, but it goes out there and it says, okay, we're looking at this, and if I click my little plus and minus sign right here, what I'm going to do here is let's just run the report and see what it looks like. I'm going to run it still for that same default site item, and I can maximize my screen by clicking right there. So here's my report. I told the system to add after item description, product code, family code. So again, it's done that all just that easily for me. So again, super easy to use, and I can do whatever I want. As a matter of fact, I might say to the system, hey, I like this report. I want to, save it, and it's going to save it in a directory where I can reuse that report. I could obviously create a new report, open existing reports. I can print it, print preview. I can undo and redo anything that I've added, either with the drag and drop or through the CQ AI. I can run the report. I can stop the report. I can schedule it. So for example, I might say, hey, I like this report, and I want it sent to me every Monday morning at 3 a.m. I can go out there and schedule it, and I can, as part of the scheduling, I can say, hey, send it to me as an Excel spreadsheet or an HTML document or PDF file, a comma separated value file. I can email it. Really, I can do whatever I want. So again, click, drag, drop, and all the power of Cyberquery is available to the AI user as well. They don't have to use it, but it's there in case they do. If I wanted to expand this little window here, you can see what's going on. So you can see we're, selecting records based upon input side and input item. Here's the sorts that are going on. But again, if I like it, I can save it. If not, let's just move on. I'm going to say, let's create a new conversation. And I'm going to say new query, save this existing. I'll say no. Let's go in here and let's do something here for the accounting people. I'm going to say show GL account balances by account and description. If I could type and type, something like that. Okay. hit enter. Again, it goes out there and you can see a little wheel spinning. Again, I can start with a starting point, but I'm going to say, no, let's build this from scratch. So I say create a new query. System goes out there and generates the code. And remember, all of your data stays local. So the AI engine never sees your AR balances, never sees what's revenue or expenses or customer names or anything like that. So that's all kept private. So it's going to go out here. It's built this simple query for me. I'm going to click run. System goes out there and runs that report and now comes back that quickly and shows me again, here's what we've done. Here's by account, by description, type, and the DOM amount, the amount. If you look down here in the bottom part of the screen, you can see we just read 455,000 rows. If I click that little blue circle, it'll tell me it read that in 5 seconds. So 5 seconds to read 455,000 rows. That's not bad at all. I can come through here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what I'd like to do is let's come down here. I'm just scrolling around. Again, remember this is the normal demo data from Infor. I'm going to say, let's just look at revenue. I'm going to click on revenue type equals R, and I can go back and I can say, hey, just show me revenue type equals R, or I'm lazy. I'm going to click on R. I'll say, just get me type equals R. So now we're just looking at revenue type. And now I'm going to say, I'll say spread. Spread amount across transaction date year/month, something like that. So again, we're working with this data, and now we can bounce back and forth between drag and drop, left mouse, right mouse, and I'm back to the assistant where I'm letting the assistant do this work where, again, I've said spread the amount across transaction date, year and month. So it goes out there, kind of figure out what it's working on, and looks good. I'm going to come back here, and what I'm going to do, if I click, again, that plus and minus sign, it's going to show me that it's added the across. It's picked up, where chart type equals R. And let's just go ahead and run the report. Oh, and by the way, if I click on summary, here's what the summary is going to look like. Here's what the query itself looks like. Again, anytime I want, I click run. System goes out there, and let's maximize that screen so we can see it. So here's revenue coming out of my GL, going across by year and month. If I like it, again, I might say dump this into Excel. And inside Excel, there's also a Cyberquery Excel add-in where users can drag and drop and pull reports and queries directly into the Excel spreadsheet itself. That's all part of the Cyberquery AI package. Other things to mention, I can bring in graphics or images or pictures. I can drill down. I can, again, do whatever I want to do from inside of Cyberquery. So again, super easy. Let's go back. So we've done that. Let's build something a little bit more sophisticated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say new conversation. And I'll say, no, don't need to save that. Okay, we're going to build something new. And I'm going to say, show me my top 5 customers by revenue margin. So now again, to build that, the AI's got to figure out a lot of things, top 5 customers. What do I mean by customers? And also revenue margin. Margin is not a stored field in Sightline, so it's got to figure out, well, what does he mean by revenue? What does he mean by margin? I'm going to build that query from scratch. So let the system go out here, and we'll see what it figures out for us. Okay, it tells me the tables is kind of considered, which ones it's going to use, and we'll see what it comes back with. And again, we could read all this, but I'm going to just kind of look here at the query. It's figured out margin. If I look here at the syntax, it's basically saying revenue margin is equal to price minus cost times the quantity invoiced and it's showing it as 2 decimal places. That looks great to me. So I'm going to say run, and there it is. Here are my top 5 customers, by revenue margin. Again, it figured that all out for me. It put everybody else into this bucket called other. So when I look at the total, that's the actual total for revenue from that demo database. I'm going to keep going, though. I'm going to add some more. I'm going to say show revenue and add a column for margin as a percent of revenue. Okay. Hit enter. Okay, the system got to go out there and says, okay, revenue. What do we mean by revenue? Because now there's no field in Sightline called revenue. It's got to figure out, revenue is going to be, in this case, it's going to come back as, price times quantity ordered. So it figures that, then it figures out how to do this calculation. And good, it came back red. If there's ever a situation where the system can't really generate the report, it's going to come back in red and tell you that, hey, I can't, something's wrong with this query. Now, I can edit it here, or I can tell the system, for example, I'm going to say, in this case, I'm going to say remove margin percent. Margin percent. We'll start off. Let's just remove margin percent and see if it can figure that out for us. So we'll go step by step. And one of the things you'll learn as you work with the software is actually the more complex queries, the more you type in here, the better job AI is going to do. So came back, everything's green. We can kind of see what's been removed. I'm going to say run. And let's see what we got here. Okay, I'm gonna run that query. There we go. So now we've got revenue, we got revenue margin, and I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to say show margin as a percent of revenue. We'll give it another shot at the title here. So it goes in there, and it's going to hopefully add that column for me. And we'll see if it likes that. And I mean, this is a little bit more sophisticated calculation. And that came back red. I'm not going to mess with that. And I'll tell you what I'll do. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to just say remove. If I could type margin percent. Because I want to show you some other things that you can do right here with this system. So I'm going to run it. We'll clear out that margin percentage. And I just want to show you how you can, add and, drag and drop some more fields in here. So I'm going to say run. Okay. And I'm going to say report's looking good. And so, for example, I might come in here now and say, I want to bring in here, let's just do it. I'm going to say to the assistant, I'll say, add item and item description. After name. So it goes out there, and again, it's got to figure out how to get the item. So item number is part of that invoice item table, but item description, I've got to go to the item master to pick up description. But again, the AI can figure out how to do all that just by what it knows from the dictionary and from other starting point reports. I'll go ahead and click run. And now here's this report showing me, by name, by item, revenue margin. And again, I can come in here and I can, let's do this. Let's say if I say collapse on customer name. So we're going to tell the system to set it up to where I can collapse based on customer name, just so I can show you what that's going to look like. Goes out there, AI figures out, okay, where to add that collapse capability. And looks like it's done it again. If I click that plus and minus sign, it's going to show me what's added and what's been removed. I'll say it looks good, click run. So here's that report. And now if I see that report and I say, okay, it's going to go out as HTML. Here's what the report's going to look like when I save it to the Launchpad or share it with other people. It's going to come out collapsed. And then again, with these arrows, I can say, well, let's see what's going on with Price Brothers. I click that arrow. Here are the items and descriptions that make up Price Brothers. So if I look at the Gilmore two-wheelers, I can just click right there. So again, it can do all that. Let's try one more. We're going to do something kind of fancy here. I'm going to say remove item and item description and chart revenue. Okay, we'll say chart, okay, in a light blue bar and margin in a light green bar. Let's see what it does with that. So again, it's going to take the same query now. I'm going to ask for a chart or a plot, and we're going to see what comes back. So it goes out there. You know, AI is going to do its thing and then come back with what needs to be run to bring that data back in the format that we've asked for. So let's see what we get here. Okay, and again, that plus and minus sign comes in handy, especially if you're nervous or anxious like me. You can say, okay, change. It got rid of the sum command and made it a plot. We're going to do a bar. We're going to do margin, light blue. Revenue is light blue. Margin green, getting really collapsed, can put it on the x-axis. Let's run it and just see what it looks like. So there we go. I mean, that quickly now, again, just talking to the AI, I've been able to build a nice looking chart. I can add links where users can now click and drill down, do all this stuff. And again, I can bounce back and forth between what's going on in the AI. Again, if I click on options, then I just see kind of the Cyberquery environment. If I click on the assistant, click right there. If I click on chart, you know, it's going to let me come in here and I could change this data. Maybe I don't want to see it as a bar anymore. I want to see it as a pie. I can click right there. That's giving me a pie by name. And I think what I'll do is let's do it here. If I just get rid of name there we can kind of see here's revenue margin across all names. So we can do that, or we could do stack bars, anything like that. But let's go back to the assistant because I want to build one more query for you. And I want to do this one. I'm going to say I want to do a new conversation. We'll say new query. And I am going to say that I want to do kind of a efficiency report. So let's say, I'll just type it in here. Show me job efficiency. Show me job efficiency by operation and job. Let's see what we get. Show me job efficiency by operation and job. Let's click run and see what the system gives us. Okay. Now, again, if you can think about this, you know that to generate this query, AI's got to figure out, hey, where do I go? What table do I start with? Where do I get, my various pieces that comprise something like efficiency? So let's, again, see what it comes back. Okay, searching files, looking at job operation. Okay, it's gone through here. It says, okay, I'm going to start with the job route table, and I'm going to do a few things. Let's kind of look at the query again, just to see what it's doing. So it's figuring out earned hours, which is quantity complete, times, and notice it's gone out there and also figured out that it's got to go to JRT Schedule Master for my run labor hours, plus my setup hours. So again, it's figured out that I need run hours and setup hours. Here's my actual hours coming out of my job route table. And then here's how it's doing the efficiency. Earned hours divided by actual hours times 100. So it looks great. I'm going to click run. System goes out there. And now it's showing me all these jobs. Oh, you know what? I should have come down here and let's do this. I'm going to say only show me jobs with quantity complete. Greater than 0. Let's try that. So I see we got a lot of jobs out there that don't have any quantity complete or whatever. So again, it goes out there. It's going to update this query for us. And see what it's done. Yeah, quantity complete greater than 0. Let's run that. Again, take a look at it. Okay, so there we go. And I'm going to scroll down here just till we find a, so here's a job, looking for a job where the efficiency is not 100. Okay, so here's a job, this one right here. I'm just going to highlight that one, do my right mouse click, and here are all the options. So again, left mouse, right mouse shows me what I can do. Everything from summing and grouping. I'm just going to do a select, and we're just going to look at this one job. So you can see here's the job. Here's the ending efficiency for that particular job. So again, I can get real sophisticated just either speaking or typing to the AI anytime I want. I can save these. I can say, over here, I can say, publish this query to let other people use it and run it. I can change the format. I can change the colors, labels, blocking, adding things as simple as, for example, I say, I really want to call attention to my efficiency. I'm going to click on my paintbrush and I'm going to say, show my efficiency. Right here, I'm going to highlight. Let's do it. I'm going to highlight it, do a right mouse click. I'm going to add a highlight value. And what I'm going to say is, if my efficiency is, I'm going to say if it's less than 100%, then I want this background color to be, it's going to be kind of an orange color. And we'll say, okay. And I'm going to apply it to the whole line. So now I can, I can really start, that can do the lettering. But again, you can see now where the efficiency is less than 100%. So as I save this and publish it, again, I can get really fancy in terms of what I do through the AI and through Cyberquery, kind of giving me AI plus more using it. So again, easy to use, non-threatening for the users, and yet super powerful. So with that, I'm going to jump back over here to these PowerPoints and just talk about a little bit about this, what we call the ECQ or the Cyberquery test drive. Again, if you like what you see, let Con or Sherry or anybody from ESS or myself know that you want that free evaluation copy. We'll send you the link to download the software. We'll do the install for you. We've got it down to a science. Literally 2 hours, we can have you installed. We'll help you build some proof of concept reports. And then we go away. Let you play with the software for 30 days. If you like it, you keep it. If you don't like it, send it back to us, all at no charge. So, can't go wrong. And so with that, I'm going to just open it up and see if there's any questions.
Thank you so much, Jim. I see a couple of questions. Let's start with Shridar's question. Can the CQ data dictionary be updated by end users to include user-defined fields?
Yes. Yeah. So it automatically picks up all of your Sightline CSI user-defined fields. But yeah, you can refresh that dictionary on command. That's typically one of those things that you want to restrict to the CQ administrator for your environment. But it's a click of a button to update that dictionary to include, any new Sightline or CSI tables or fields. So it brings in both.
Okay, and we have another question from Engel. He asked, what should be the server size for CQ for Sightline?
Okay. Uh, really, the software is very efficient. So for Sightline, if you've got a server built in the last 5 years, you're good to go. I mean, we like to have a server that's got, let's say 16 to 32 gig of RAM, 2 cores, available disk space. Would like to see, let's say 200 gig, 300 gig, something like that. So again, any server, and it does not need to be dedicated to Cyberquery. So if you've got your mail server and it's got space on it, you can drop Cyberquery there. So again, any operating system in the last 10 years, any server, with decent memory size is going to be good. If you're CSI in the cloud, we probably want to bump up those specs a little bit because Cyberquery also has the capability to replicate your CSI cloud database locally and then run against those. And those are a lot quicker than going back. So we've got our own Mongoose IDO native interface directly back into CSI. But for a CSI environment, I'd say take those specs I just gave you and double them for CSI in the cloud for those extract routines.
Okay, thank you. And another question is, what's the cost for the test drive?
0. So
Oh,
we'll do all the install configuration, the basic training, all at no cost. And again, it's completely free. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, send it back to us.
thank you. And another question is coming from James. How is this different from Velocity, which I think is CSI's native solution?
Yeah, the velocity actually ends up sharing more data with the cloud. So with Cyberquery, all your data is secure, it's kept local, and you can do a lot more things with it. So in terms of, taking a query you start in AI and expanding on that, storing it, dumping it into Excel, PDF, HTML, emailing it. There's a lot more functionality here than what you see with Velocity.
Okay, thank you. We can wait a couple more minutes if there's going to be more questions.
Now, I know one question that we always get is, with CQ AI, can I access data from both Sightline and CSI simultaneously? And the answer is yes. So again, any data you have, and a lot of our customers are using, payroll systems that are external to Infor, but again, they want to be able to pull in, paycheck information. And again, whether it's Paylocity or something else, you can combine data from different systems in any of your queries. Okay, any other questions?
Uh, I don't see now, but
Okay,
someone is typing.
okay, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Let's wait a couple more minutes.
Okay, okay.
But thank you so much for the presentation, Jim. It was great as always. Appreciate it for your time and effort.
Well, good. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure working with ESS. So, anything we can do to help, just say the word.
Okay. The question just came. So if you were to say use Net Inspect for QC, can we use this software to access that and CSI?
Yeah. So you had NetSuites. So yeah. So with Cyberquery again, you can combine data. We got some customers that pull in data from NetSuites and Sightline on-prem and CSI in the cloud and Sage. And I'm trying to think what else these guys have got. They've got what is it?
I think Jim, sorry to disrupt it. I think it's not NetSuite, Net Inspect.
Oh,
Uh, net
Okay,
and
okay,
spent. Yeah.
okay.
Uh,
So the question would be, as long as you've got access to the underlying data, if that data is in a SQL Server database, you're good to go now. If it's in the cloud, and we can get to that cloud data either through an ODBC connection or through an OData or JSON kind of connection, we're good. So as long as that data is accessible, then Cyberquery can access it and combine that data together for you.
okay. One more question. Can CQ execute transactions?
Now, Cyberquery is read only. So we're not going to let somebody change your database through CQ or CQ AI. We can write out data, into a format that can be picked up by other routines that can then update Sightline or CSI, but we do not write directly into any of the application data.
Okay. Uh, okay, so I think we're done, but someone is typing again, so
Okay.
can you
We'll give them
create?
a minute.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, and can you create any AI agents then? From James.
Yeah. So you're asking about AI agents.
Yeah.
Basically the way our software works is, again, the software is installed on a Windows server in your environment. It talks to uh, our CQ AI engine in the cloud. Our engine uses the Google Gemini uh, AI engine underneath. But I've never had anybody ask if they could create their own or deviate from that. But I'll tell you what, I'll write that question down and I'll get back to you with an answer on that. So, and for people that have attended the session, if anybody would like a copy of the PowerPoint slides um, or a link to the recording, just let us know. We'll be happy to share those with you.
So we're gonna share the webinar recording and the presentation as well. So just uh just give us a couple hours and you will see it.
Perfect.
Okay. I think we don't have any more questions, so we can close the session. Thank you so much, Jim. It was a great presentation as always, and thank you so much to all our attendees. Thank you for their time this morning. We are planning more sessions, more webinars, and more content for you. We always try to deliver the most accurate information and most updated information from Cloud Suite Industrial, Sightline, and we just target the get the most benefit from your software. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Jim.
Goodbye.